welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel today, guys. Coming right up for you is a Barça news roundup, and there is a lot on the agenda. We may be here in the international break, but there's no breaks going on here because we are going to be discussing the big topic of Araujo and Gavi's contract situations. Lots going on in the media right now. We are going to be addressing all of that stuff. We're also going to be talking about Noussair Mazraoui, the Ajax right back who could soon be on his way to Barça, and if that was to happen, what's that going to mean for Serginho Dest and for Dani Alves? And finally as well, we are going to be talking about Raphinha, the Brazilian winger who's been very closely linked to Barça. Could it happen? Should it happen? As we will also discuss another Brazilian winger in Antony. It is all coming your way. So let's do it. But if we do, first of all, kick off with that big topic, and it is the one right now where the media spotlight is very much on the contract situations of both Araujo and also Gavi. And it is, of course, something that we've spoken about on the channel pretty recently. We spoke about being calm, being patient, and trusting in the club to get these deals done. But I think inevitably, when you're talking here about two very key players, not only in the future, but of course right now in the present too, they are proving exactly what they can do. They're a big part of Xavi's plans, and of course we're going to be glued to every piece of news that emerges about their futures. But what I do have to really stress and hammer home today is that we've got to be careful, guys. We've got to be very careful, because obviously now we're hearing rumours that the club may not be able to reach an agreement with Araujo, maybe that he's rejected several offers, maybe that he wants more money, Barca don't want to give it to him, that Gavi's contract renewal is going on much longer than expected. All of these kind of rumours swirling around you every single day, but not every single rumour from every single source is a reliable one, is a trustworthy one. And it seems like now, especially during international break, that the media have chosen this situation, the situation here of Araujo, Gavi, to really focus on and produce as many stories and rumours as they can. So that's where we have to be careful. Because if you look at the words very recently there from Gerard Romero, somebody who, to his credit, has been reliable, has been trustworthy ever since Joan Laporta returned to the club as president, he says on the situation that Gavi and Araujo's representatives have told him that they haven't had any new meetings recently with the club, and as such, neither of them have rejected anything. And Gerard Romero says that there is a meeting scheduled there with Araujo for after the international break to discuss his renewal. And I just think right now, guys, we do have to try and keep calm. I think also the club have had a lot going on these past few weeks. You think about all the time and energy that would have been spent on that Spotify deal, the negotiating, all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with that. Finally now, that's done. I think they're also negotiating behind the scenes with La Liga on the CVC deal. That also is taking up a lot of our time. And of course, as we're going to discuss, they're also working behind the scenes on new signings for this summer. So plenty is going on. I think what we have to do now is prioritise these renewals. Gavi and Araujo, let's get them signed, let's get it done, and I still maintain today that they will stay. But if we do move on to one of those summer deals that the club is certainly continuing to work on behind the scenes, that is a deal there for a Mino Raiola client, Noussair Mazraoui, the 24-year-old Moroccan right-back currently playing his football at Ajax. And of course he is another one of those players, a growing list of players who are out of contract this summer, and he is going to be available on a free transfer. He has decided to leave Ajax, even though they really wanted to keep him. However, this move certainly hasn't been a straightforward one. Apparently Mazraoui there has had an offer from Real Madrid, has had an offer from Bayern Munich. There's plenty of interest in him. He is very highly rated in that right back area, but apparently he does want to join Barça. He wants to come and play here, and for that matter, Fabrizio Romano says that he's very close to accepting Barca's proposal, which will be for €5 million net per season in wages. And just like Christensen and Kessié that we discussed in yesterday's video, it would be another quality addition, another player coming in to add extreme depth to Xavi's squad for next season. But the question I'd ask is, what will that mean for Serginho Dest right now? Because obviously in the past, when we were linked with Mazraoui, there was rumours that Barca were ready to cash in on Dest this summer, that they would sell Dest and make some money and then bring in Mazraoui on a free transfer. But I just wonder now, is that still going to be the case? Because you look at the way that Dest has played in the team under Xavi very recently, he has been excellent. His form has been top quality. And I think actually Dest has worked really hard to convince Xavi. Maybe at first there were things that he needed to do, things that he needed to show Xavi to raise his game to where he expected it to be. And I think he's done that. I think he has really impressed Xavi with his work. So I honestly don't think that the plan would be to move Dest on right now, which then begs the question about Dani Alves. Would it then be Alves maybe who misses out in that right back area? Of course, the current deal expires this coming summer. Are we going to extend that contract? Are we going to keep Dani Alves on for another season? And then potentially, are you looking at maybe a situation whereby you've got Dest and Mazraoui, two fantastic young, exciting right-back players. They've also been teammates in the past as well. They do know each other very well indeed. And maybe then, even if you were to keep Dani Alves, to keep him on a little bit longer, he could be that wise head to guide them, to pass on that wisdom and that experience, and to also provide cover if and when needed. And that would indeed be the question the club are having to ask themselves right now at right-back. And please do let me know, guys, what you would do in that area, how you would set up your options for next season. But speaking of summer signings, a player who is not going to be available on a free, maybe Barca will spend some money this summer. We are going to talk now about Leeds United winger Raphinha, because there have been plenty of rumours here claiming that Barca have joined Liverpool and Bayern. They're popping up again, Bayern Munich. They are looking to also strengthen their squad this summer, and all of those clubs are apparently in the race to sign Raphinha from Leeds this summer. Xavi apparently rates the winger very highly. He's 25 years old. He's been impressing in the Premier League over the past 2 seasons, and Xavi has given his approval to the club, according to the media, to start negotiations with the player, whose agent is former Barca midfielder Deco, who is also working right now with the club on scouting and recommending South American players, and certainly here, that could make the process to sign Raphinha that bit more straightforward. Now, there have been initial reports that Barca could open up there with a €35 million bid for Raphinha, although at this stage it is expected there that Leeds would be asking for more money than that. In an ideal world, they would hold out for more, but it should also be said here that with Leeds very dangerously close to the relegation zone, if they were to go down, if they were to get relegated, then Raphinha would be allowed to leave for even less. He does have there a relegation clause in his contract, and for that reason Barca, I'm sure, are paying very close attention. And I think when you are looking at Raphinha, when you're talking about maybe signing him for Barca, is he a player that we could use? Is he a player who would impress and really flourish at this club? I think you can honestly see the appeal. He's at a very good age right now. I think he's developed this game really well. He continues to improve. I actually think with Raphinha, he's quite underrated because of where he plays. I think if he was playing at a bigger club, you'd see those numbers soar. You would see him have fantastic numbers in front of goal with goals and assists, because even this season, in a team who are struggling for form, really struggling down the bottom of the league, he's still popped up with 9 goals to his name and 3 assists as well. And I do think he is somebody that at a bigger club, he could really thrive, because even with Brazil, finally now he's getting opportunities. He's made 7 appearances there and already has 3 goals to his name. And I think from Xavi's point of view, you could understand the need to sort of look for wingers right now, to be sort of attentive to the market. Obviously, Xavi is a coach there that in his system, he needs wingers, he needs options out there. We've seen that, of course, in his January signings too. And I think especially given the uncertainty right now surrounding Ousmane Dembele, we don't know what's going to happen with his contract situation. Adama Traoré, we don't know whether Barca are going to make that move permanent. So quite clearly there, we've got 2 players who may or may not be at the club next season. Quite clearly, we are going to have to look outside. We are going to have to look at our options. And Raphinha, for me, is a very solid one. But I'm sure many of you are coming out and saying, look, if we're looking at a Brazilian winger, if we're going to try and sign a Brazilian on the wing, why don't we try and sign the man from Ajax, Antony, who has been unbelievable this season in Eredivisie and also as well in the Champions League. He has really lit up the stage at times, and he is, of course, another Brazilian winger. He is a bit younger than Raphinha at 22 years old, and I think maybe because of that, he is a bit more raw in his talent. You know, some games he can look like a world beater, sometimes he can look like nobody is going to touch Antony, but then in other games there are a few inconsistencies that I'm sure in time he's really going to polish and develop that game. But the problem I think with Antony, above all of that, he is certainly so talented and really impressive, but he is likely this summer, I would say, to cost double the amount that Raphinha goes for. I think there he's going to be a very, very expensive option from Ajax. They are not going to let him go cheaply. Again, you're talking about Bayern Munich. They are very interested in signing Antony. So that would be the question there about comparing those two. It's going to come down to price. It's going to come down to who suits Barcelona better. But certainly both of them, very impressive players. And honestly, I would take either of them. So indeed, guys, that right there is some Barça news for you today, and there is plenty that I do want to get your thoughts on in the comments down below there. What do you think about the situation surrounding Araujo and also Gavi? Do you see those contract renewals being resolved soon? Also, do let me know, of course, your thoughts on Mazraoui and how our right-back options could be looking next season. And when it comes to Raphinha, and in a comparison with Antony, who should Barça be pursuing in the wider areas come the summer? Let me know all those thoughts down below, guys. I hope you're enjoying this international break and still enjoying the good feeling surrounding this club. I will, of course, see you soon with more videos to come. You can count on that. But until next time, as always, Vishka El Barça.